You left your shoes and your keys here, Bobby Valentino. If you want them back, call me and I'll give you a price. Ooh, girl, I'm trying not to laugh. My. Bobby Valentino. So we all know who Bobby Valentino is, right? An American R&B singer. He's 42 years old. Little short stuff. Nice, short, handsome guy. You know, I like Bobby Valentino's music. I've never really had any issues with him. He's unproblematic to me. He's uncontroversial. He really keeps his business private for the most part, right? He was born in Mississippi. He was signed under Ludacris. Slow Down is one of my favorites. Anonymous. Turn the Page. He got some little hits now. And I believe he can really sing. So when you're an R&B singer and a lot of what you do in your music is catered to women, and people assume that all your songs are for, women, and then we find out that you have an attraction to trans women who are also women. They may not be female, but they are women. It can cause a lot of controversy. And that's what happened back in 2017. So in 2017, Bobby Valentino had an encounter with a transgender woman by the name of Rima Houston. Let me just say this is all alleged. We don't know of this to be true. Now, Rima Houston is an alleged transgender escort. So I'm still not sure of how they really met. I wasn't really able to find that. But regardless of how they met, this transgender woman invited Bobby Valentino over to her apartment so they could engage in a sexual act. Now, the transgender woman did allege that this was supposed to be a pay-for-play transaction where she was supposed to provide a sexual service to him and he was supposed to pay her. So we talked about tricking with Young Buck. A lot of times these down low men, when they have the means and the wealth, they will begin tricking, which is paying for what they want. Paying for your sexual services. So the number one rule, I'll say again, when you're tricking is to always pay them what they ask for. And when you don't pay them what they ask for, you decide that you're going to get the sex for free, you find yourself in a position where you could potentially be exposed. And that's what happened to Young Buck, and now this is what happened to Bobby Valentino as well. Y'all gonna learn to pay these girls. So a video was released by the transgender woman in 2017 that went viral and sparked a lot of conversation about Bobby Valentino's sexuality. In the video, you can hear the transgender woman calling Bobby Valentino's name several times as she follows him around her apartment as he scrambles to try to get dressed so he can get out of there. So Rima Houston alleges that Bobby Valentino tried to skip out on payment after he had already agreed to pay her for her services prior to coming over to her place. Based off the video footage, looks like Bobby Valentino to me. So initially, of course, Bobby Valentino denied the claims, but once the video started going viral and he saw that there was evidence that he was at this woman's place, he had no choice but to confess. Later on, Bobby Valentino would admit that it was him in the video, but his reps claimed that Bobby V did not hire a prostitute and that he was being extorted by someone who is now claiming to be a prostitute after she found out who he is. And as far as to whether the alleged sex worker was transgender, Bobby V claims he didn't know that she was. So when he confessed that it was him in the video, he still denies ever hiring a prostitute. He denies agreeing to pay anyone for sexual exchanges. And he also denied knowing that the woman was transgender. So Bobby Valentino went the route of some other down low men that we know and alleged that he was under the impression that he was coming over to a woman's place to have sexual intercourse with a woman. And this transgender woman lied to him and did not tell him that she was trans. So how many times have we heard this? This is the go-to excuse. If they can't lie and say it wasn't them, when they're caught red-handed, the next excuse is going to be they didn't know, or they were tricked, or they were misled. And Bobby Valentino stood by those claims for quite some time. Now, the transgender woman, Rima Houston, did go on a series of interviews. Basically, she went on a tour doing interviews with anyone who would listen to speak on her experience and her encounter with Bobby Valentino. Now, was this woman clout chasing? Absolutely, in my opinion. She was looking to milk that 15 minutes of fame as long as she could. But Bobby Valentino, you're the one who gave her the ammo. So when you hire an escort and these are women who pay their bills by these exchanges and these encounters, why would you think it's okay to come and get what you want and not provide her with what she wants? Sometimes you down low men just make things harder on yourself. Give her coin and go on about your day. So Bobby Valentino's stance was the person he hooked up with was not a prostitute, and said that she only decided to extort him for money after finding out who he was. And again, also he was under the impression that he was going to meet with a woman. So then my question would be, if she tried to extort you after she found out who you were, how did y'all meet? Where did y'all meet? Why would she not know who you were prior to coming to her place? How would you not know who she was? It just doesn't add up to me. If you thought you were coming to see a woman, obviously y'all had interacted before, right? Bobby's rep also went on to tell TMZ that they have reported the extortion attempt to law enforcement, and Bobby Valentino actually did file a suit against Rima Houston. What's interesting about that is the transgender woman then filed a suit against Bobby Valentino as well. Based off my research, Bobby Valentino was a no-show to his court date, so the charges against the transgender woman were dropped. Maybe they worked something out. Maybe she got a settlement. Maybe they just agreed to let it go. Maybe he accepted his attraction to transgender women and just moved on with his life. And the reason I say that is because later on, 3 years later in 2020, there was a video released on the Neighborhood Talk that showed a transgender woman allegedly being dropped off to Bobby Valentino's apartment building, where he came downstairs and picked her up so he could take her upstairs. In the video, Bobby Valentino is showing greeting the transgender woman very intimately and giving her a kiss, and then walking her upstairs to his apartment. Now, the video was obviously recorded by whoever dropped the transgender woman off, and they obviously had motives for recording the video. So these are two separate incidents with separate transgender women. It is also alleged that Bobby Valentino has participated and engaged in transgender sex parties as well. Now, this is all alleged again. So here's my thing. Bobby Valentino is like a lot of other black men. They have an attraction to transgender women. I don't see a problem with the attraction to transgender women. Transgender women are beautiful these days. And to me personally, as a gay man, I just don't really see men who are attracted to trans women as gay. I mean, I do know they fall under LGBTQ in some shape or form, but I wouldn't consider them gay. Because when you're looking at a transgender woman, you're not looking at a man. But I understand that the topic is a bit taboo. And again, amongst black men, it's not typically socially acceptable to be attracted to trans women. So when you're a singer and you're in the music industry and all your peers are black men and all your friends are black men and everyone you work with and everyone you have to associate with on a daily basis are black men, and it's the black culture, what do? You have to deny it. You have to hide it. You have to keep it a secret. But when you're keeping secrets, you have to cross your T's and dot your I's. So when you meet a trick, you pay a trick. You keep on tricking, right? That's what he didn't understand. And when the video clip went viral, thousands of memes were created. A lot of responses came from celebrity men. Snoop Dogg made a response kind of ridiculing Bobby Valentino, saying that they needed to have a talk. My thing with Snoop Dogg, who the hell are you that a grown man would have to have a talk with you about who he's attracted to? I just don't get it. That'd be my problem with black men. I don't get what y'all think y'all run. But this just goes to show you that a lot of times these men fear the backlash of other black men, as I've said. Until this day, Bobby Valentino still denies the claims that he is attracted to trans women, even though we had an updated video from 2020 of the transgender woman coming to his building and him taking her upstairs and all of the things. Here's what I personally believe. I personally believe Bobby Valentino has accepted his trans attraction and he is more comfortable in his skin as a trans attracted man, and that's why he's able to maneuver the way he does. He went from sneaking to transgender women's home to now bringing them to his home. Hey, that's a big step. Maybe one day he will come out and say, I am trans attracted. I am part of LGBTQ, if he chooses to. At the time of which Bobby Valentino was caught hooking up with the trans, his career was already kind of, not to say over, but he was not in his prime. I'll say that. Already had his hits that we cannot discredit him for. He's already a great singer. We know he's talented. We can't discredit him for that. So I'm not really sure what he was in fear of, besides that backlash in the public opinions. But hey, that's all I have for Bobby Valentino. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know, why do you think Bobby Valentino denied his encounter with the trans women? Why do you think men are so afraid to express their attraction to transgender women? Do you think this woman tricked or misled Bobby Valentino? See you next time.